Welcome back, and thanks for joining us. You're still on the POLITY, reaching you live from the nation's capital in Abuja, and I'm Babajide. And today we've been joined by two guest analysts. And to my right is Habib, Gajo, a public affairs analyst. Welcome to the studio. And to my left is none other than Atiku, Abubakar, political analyst. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you.
It's good to see you once again. And today we'll be analyzing the antecedents of the new ministers. Of course, as of yesterday evening, the presidency has released the portfolios of the ministerial nominees. They are no longer nominees. Now we have ministers, and they would be sworn in come Monday. But before we get into that, I'd like us to take a review of what the Punch said this morning. Ministerial portfolios, oil workers demand results as Tinubu heads petroleum ministry. What is your take on that, Mr. Habib?
Yeah, you see, definitely is a two-way. They must demand, because you have NNPC being privatized now as a limited company. You have a Ministry of Petroleum Resources under a state minister, and you have a minister again as a president who did not announce himself yet. Yes, so definitely there is imbalance in that place. Okay. Yeah, there is imbalance in if the president will listen, since NNPC is now liability company, he should merge the two portfolios into one, so that we'll have Ministry of Energy or energy resources. You understand? Okay. So that we'll have the oil, the gas, and the electricity in one portfolio. Yeah. Whether if the president wants to supervise, he can supervise. If he wants somebody to administer it for him, then he can appoint somebody to administer it for him. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Now to you, Atiku. Do you agree with him now that, well, the president has not outrightly come out to declare himself as a Minister of Petroleum, but then it looks like that is what's going to happen, because there's Minister of State for Petroleum right now, but there is no Minister of Petroleum as it stands now, and there's been insinuations that, oh, the demand results as in its petroleum ministry. And let's rewind back to as of yesterday or 2 days ago. The president actually said he wouldn't allow them increase the pump price, and I feel like that's one step forward for us Nigerians. Or do you feel that way too?
Let me start from your first statement that he's likely going to head the Ministry of Petroleum. Who is heading other ministries? Is he not the one supervising all the ministers? Then why should he be appointing himself as Minister of Petroleum? That to me is faulty. Okay. Former President Muhammadu Buhari did that. Okay. It was a complete failure, and he's following the footsteps of his predecessor, who was a monumental failure. It doesn't mean that he wants to also feel like Buhari. Put somebody there. You are the president and commander-in-chief. They report to you. They're all ministers. They take instruction from you. Why appointing Minister of State, then you appoint yourself as the substantive minister? It's not the best for our country. And what they are doing, I know for sure that he is no longer on track. And the only thing I will be surprised is if he succeeds, because there's no way he will succeed.
But you cannot outrightly just assume he wouldn't succeed, given that it's just 3 months. And I mean, I had a discussion with one of our guests yesterday morning, and I said, I feel like we had too much expectations from this administration. But then we have to still understand that there should be still an overflow of what happened in the past administration, because now there is no, it's a matter of cause and effect. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. For what happened in the past administration, wouldn't we expect it to just disappear overnight?
Let me tell you why I don't see him succeeding.
Okay.
You know Abuja very well.
Okay.
If, say, you are going to Zuba and you take the route leading to Bega, definitely you will not get to Zuba in the next 1 hour, because by the time you get to Bega, if you don't turn back, you will never get to Zuba. So if you see somebody who says, oh, I am going to Zuba, and it takes from here where we are, you take the road leading to Bega. Once you get to Bega, you go to area 1, you continue going. You will not get to Zuba. That's the fact that I'm telling you. This suffering and everything happening with what the government is doing now. Subsidy this, subsidy that. Okay, now they talked about, I know we are going there, talked about borrowing money.
Yeah, $3 billion.
You have saved money from the subsidy removal. Where is that money? Then why do you need to borrow? And if there's a need to borrow, the one you have saved, what have you used it for? So there is anybody telling you that no, we are on track, doesn't know what he's saying. Even from the appointment of the ministers show that they cannot succeed. You cannot appoint so many people who do not have what it takes. Now you need to cut costs. You appoint extravagant human beings to head ministries. What do you expect? You have not on your own. Okay, say for example, if from the beginning, if Mr. President came and said, okay, all the fleet, the cars in the presidential villa, for now, for security reason, I will be using 2 of the cars, but Innocent will be producing our vehicles. That is on track. It means that now, if you export, to bring out the, I am not an economist, but I know that
well, he is an economist, and I'm sure you shed light on that for us.
It's not a big thing.
Okay.
Now, if you export, you are paid in dollars. Our currency will not be crashing the way it is now. So, if you have not done all of these things, you are not on track. You are using vehicles produced from other countries. You are not making any move to start producing your own. Why are you not helping Innocent? Why, for example, if you go to this place in Abia State, what is it called, where they produce a lot of things, Aba.
Yeah, Aba, yeah.
As a president, if you begin to wear things produced from Aba, others from Kano, you encourage your ministers to do so. We, the ordinary citizens, will follow suit because you will not be happy that, oh, that is what the president is doing. You feel proud. You will not, once you order 1 million cars from Innocent, then the money will be within the country. Anybody telling you we are going to succeed doesn't know what he's saying. We can never succeed with what is happening.
Well, do you agree with what he said right now?
Yeah, we always say it's too early to assess. You understand? But honestly, the government has lost some focus from the beginning, at the middle of the, we used to say, let's give the government 100 days. In 100 days, you will know the direction of the government.
The government.
Yeah. So this one has not reached 100 days, and we have seen some certain issues and baggages coming through the government, more especially on economic and security matters. Because when you have a subsidy issue, you have foreign policy. Yes, foreign policy is also among, because our foreign policy as of today is a disaster. Our economy is also a disaster. People are suffering. Like olden days when fella used to say water, food, go reach house, nothing. Suffering and smiling. We are suffering and smiling. You understand? Let the focus of the government be on production. You understand? Let us produce, like he said. We produce. We have a mechanical production of Innocent Motors, which is a big plus. Some countries in Africa don't have that kind of manufacturing company. You understand? Now, we have an agricultural base. Though we have been deceived by the former administration of President Buhari with rice pyramid, Anko borrowers, all our money went all over, leakages everywhere. So what the government need to do is to stop all those leakages. But from the combination of these ministers, you understand, you see a few technocrats and many politicians.
But like you said, do you think the ministers we have right now is like way over the top for what we need right now in this economy in Nigeria?
Yeah, it's over the board. Honestly, we should have, you see, the excesses of governors and former governors is overbearing in government.
Okay.
They are spending their expenses, they squander and a lot of our resources and our money. You understand? So that is why when people call, they will now start praising people like Yemi Edu, Alake, and so on, Yusuf Tukur, Pate, and some few technocrats among them. You understand? And they will start with the controversy of former governors. Like I've seen so many tweets and in Facebook and WhatsApp about Wike is going to demolish FCT and he was going to round FCT with bridges and roads. That project is coming. You understand? But they forgot to mention that the former Abia State governor, Ebonyi State governor, you understand? David Umahi is the Minister of Works, where the major works of the government, because we have infrastructural decay. You understand? So that infrastructural decay, you need a competent person, somebody who is flexible, somebody who don't have much security attached to him, somebody who his office is open. You know, the reason why Fashola failed is because he is too elastic. He's a big man. You understand? So you can't ordinary Nigeria or ordinary contractor you can't access those kind of governors. So you need few people, few good men and some politicians, good politicians, and you combine them together, like what the former President Obasanjo did. If you fail in 2 years or in 1 year, he will remove you. If you do good in 1 year and he is not satisfied, your good has not been acknowledged or satisfied, he will say, you have done well, you have served your country, thank you very much. He will bless you.
Okay, let's quickly do this. I like for us to analyze most of these ministers and their portfolios, and then of course we cannot talk about the country right now. We're talking about the rate of insecurity. So let's just take it from the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru, and there's been lots of back and forth about this said person that, given the state of insecurity in the country now, some are saying he doesn't deserve it. But then, looking at it from another book, if you flip the book, you realize that nothing you would do would actually satisfy Nigerians to start with. But then, there should be technocrats, like you've said rightly, and then there should be a mix-up of some persons. In your own opinion, do you actually think this portfolio actually have people that can actually deliver, especially the Minister of Defense?
On this, I will say that the consideration of Mr. President for giving these portfolios to these persons is purely political and has nothing to do with competence and capacity to deliver. I can claim to be from Jigawa State. I completed my primary school in Dutse local government of Jigawa State. I finished, after attending science secondary school in Lokoja, I went to Ringim in Jigawa State and completed my secondary school. I have lived at least 20 years in Jigawa State in Dutse local government. So I know, in short, I tell people that I know Dutse more than majority of people from Dutse local government. My mother currently is in Dutse local government, so I'm from Jigawa State. Badaru has no capacity in terms of security because he doesn't have what it takes. One, Jigawa State is one of the most peaceful states you have in this country. Not because it is one of the most peaceful states, but because the Badaru's style of leadership is a laissez-faire style of leadership, where because the people of Jigawa State are not troublesome, he had a free heart. He could travel to China and stay in Abuja throughout his tenure as governor of Jigawa State. Now you are given the worst ministry in this administration is the Minister of Defense. You made a Badaru as the substantive Minister of Defense.
Then Matawale as State
Matawale who could not protect lives and properties, as governor, who could not in any way deliver anything, who has not only that he does not have capacity, he doesn't even have the interest of his people. Now you are bringing him at the national level. His own people, where there are his blood, his relatives, living in Zamfara State, he does not care. He didn't care. They were being killed like chicken. He doesn't even have time to condole them. Now you are making him the junior minister for defense. I think, Mr. President, it's not be fair to Nigerians. And he must seek God's forgiveness. And that's if God will forgive him. For appointing a Badaru and Matawale as ministers of defense. That is a bad thing for the country, and it spells doom for the country, and the country will pay dearly for these political appointments that is not in any way based on competence. So don't expect anything. Like I said, you know, from the beginning of this administration, I was one of the few persons that were praising President Tinubu, thinking that he would be able to do something. But his style now has shown that himself, maybe in the nearest future, will come. If it is clear to us that he has no capacity, we will come and say it. We have nothing to lose because already we live in pains all the time now. So if anybody, by whatever reason, arrests us, he has helped us. If by whatever reason they assassinate us, we become martyrs. So it is good for us.
All right, I'm still going to talk on Ministry of Defense, and then I'll relate it to the Minister of Aviation, that's Festus Keyamo. I mean, right even before he was nominated, there was lots and lots going on with him, from them saying he had issues with the 9th Assembly, him not coming forward for the screening, and then now he's been given Minister of Aviation, and people are saying, I mean, it just feels like there's just too much going on with the ministerial list right now. I'd like to get your own opinion about the Minister of Defense, the Minister of State of Defense, and then the Minister of Aviation. That's Festus Keyamo, the three together.
Wow, so you are giving me the tax of the political analysis. You see, I will call it a political compensation. Matole is being compensated. Okay. He ran and lost, so they need to recapture the state. So he has they now put him as a minister to, you understand? Like my brother Atiku Abubakar said, somebody who cannot protect a 14 local government in a state.
And does it protect 774 local governments? Cannot
protect
36 states.
36 states.
Excluding the FCT.
Yeah, the FCT. Now, if you look at the background of Alhaji Governor Badaru Abubakar, he was a businessman, industrialist, for that matter. He was an industrialist. He has so many industries, both Nigeria and outside Nigeria. You understand? And he had so many manufacturing organizations and market organizations and business organizations. You understand? Before he became a governor. You understand? So when he became a governor, we have seen what he has done in Jigawa State. He has done relatively. He has done some roads. He connects some local government with the road, though we don't have political insecurity. When you look at the Ministry of Defense itself, you understand, you will now realize that what is going on. We are talking of defense. You understand? A place where you need professionals, the place where you need professionalism. You understand? In their affairs. You see, in advanced countries, you will never know their defense minister. You don't hear about their defense minister. You understand? Is always protected from professional organizations. You understand? Like in America, you have Pentagon covering by the CIA, covering the defense.
That's
you
correct.
have FBI, you have CIAs, you have, all covering for the Minister of Defense. You have Defense Secretary, who is directly answerable to the President. You understand? And who communicate and engage the whole world. You understand?
Yes.
And who is also a Secretary of Defense of NATO, the Northern Atlantic Treaty. You understand? So all these countries, you don't hear about their because it's something that is professional and is also is something that does need a first-hand treatment. Yes, because national security is number one.
Yes.
Constitutionally, the responsibility of every government or a president who is elected under a constitution, of any constitution, you understand, is to protect life and property. So if the president cannot answer directly from the service chiefs and the Ministry of Defense, there is a problem. Buhari got it wrong when his service chiefs and Ministry of Defense are having a lot of crises and problems. You understand? There is a division. You remember the former defense minister during Buhari, who come from Zamfara state also. He later resigned and went and contested the governor and lost. One retired major general. It's a problem. You understand? You don't fix politicians where they don't belong. You understand? You put politicians where they belong. You put security men where they belong. You understand? But the administration is one administration. We all have hope and expectation that the government will do well, because the way he put up the service chiefs, and we now realize within 60 days the service chiefs are no longer in charge of some of their bases and their commands. You have seen how people claiming to shut down the military helicopter, whether it is ambulance, whether it's a combat helicopter, whether it's whatever they said. But at least a helicopter, a Nigerian Air Force helicopter was down. You understand? And people died. Soldiers died. People that we trained with our own money, taxpayers' money. You understand?
Yes. Okay.
Train them to stand for us and to protect us and protect our territorial integrity, additioned by ordinary terrorists with AK-47. For that matter, the way I have seen in the social media, I believe everybody has seen that. So if you look at the Nigerian police, you understand, less attention on the Nigerian police. The Nigerian police today cannot afford to buy fuel to patrol their cars and so on. You understand, more the IGP has to mop up all the posts that are in VIPs. You understand, in order to get more manpower in the police. Yes. So these are the security situations that the government need to pay attention as number one priority. Economic will follow. You understand?
I was just going to get to that. Because I like us to when we talk about people or what's on the street, that they're not capable, I like us to talk about people that some persons have actually come out to say, oh, this person might actually work. And I'm talking of person of Minister of Finance, even though what's on the street has it that we've never had good antecedents of Minister of Finance. We've always had issues with our ministers of finance, even from the past administration, where there's lots of budget padding, the Senate calling the Minister of Finance Minister no answering, and there are too many questionable acts. But then in this case, we're looking at someone that was a Commissioner of Finance when Mr. President was the Governor of Lagos State, and I was reading up on him a few hours ago, and they served as head of Treasury and Deputy Head of Corporate Finance at Chase Merchant Bank. And he was in charge of the bank's treasury and money market activities. And I'm sure you know more on that because you are an economic person. They said he had major responsibility for capital market and financial advisory operations on behalf of the local subsidiaries, and he has 25 years of experience in merchant banking, corporate financing, economics, and international finance at national and international levels. He of course owns he joined the World Bank, and that's International Monetary Fund. He has Washington, all of that combined together. Where does this fit into the Nigeria economy right now? Are we looking at someone that would actually revive the economy? Because it looks like we do not need someone that is going to take it slow and steady. We need a push as it stands.
Yeah, you see, I always advocate cooperation or coordination between the Finance Ministry and Central Bank of Nigeria. So if you look at Yemi Edum's profile,
yes,
it's only one thing that is missing from him. He is not a risk manager. Had it been he's a risk manager, he will be a very good central bank governor. You understand? But that is why people has hope on him. That they believe that being from where he is coming from,
where he's coming from, the antecedents, yes,
his professionalism in the economic sector and the market management. You understand? He will coordinate the Ministry of Finance. You understand? That's why that the president has done well by separating, by creating another economic ministry and planning budget. You understand? So it takes away the politics of the economy. You understand? The economy is being taken away from the coordination of Minister of Finance. You understand? So economic issues and activities will be handled by Ministry of Planning and budget. You understand? So Wale Edun will have a smooth ride if he wish so. You understand? If he is ready to work for Nigerians. You understand? If his allegiance to Nigerians and his loyalty to Nigeria and the President Commander-in-Chief who appointed him, I think Wale Edun has no excuse to fail.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much, Habib Gajo. A quick one before we round up. This morning we were with Habib Gajo and the press, and then he mentioned something about Mr. President not just giving the ministers the portfolios. You give them the portfolios and give them targets and say this is what you should do. But then I'm of the opinion that they are not babies, and as a Minister of Finance, I should know better. If not know better, then I shouldn't be given the job to start with. I'm just taking that for example. What's your take on that? Do you agree with that notion, or you think Mr. President has to actually sit them down, spell it out for them? And I mean, let's back it to 2 weeks ago where he went to Gwagwalada and they had to sign up a major power project where he said a 3 years project should be a 3 years project and he wouldn't want it to be extended. And I feel that's a good one to start with. But do you think the president should actually spell it out for them and give them targets and say, you report to me in 1 year, I want this done, I want that done? Do you think that would be a major way to actually push the economy forward right now?
Where we are now, that is not only a major, it is very, very important that you give them target what to do, but how they do it is left
to them.
Yes, but you must give them target. They cannot just be left like that to on their own decide what to do and what not to do. You must give them target. That is why you did campaign and people voted for you based on your campaign promises. And most of them might not be aware of those things you said to people, because not all of them followed him throughout the campaign. And even if they did, some did not even remember the campaign promises, because even while they were making the promises, they never had the intention of keeping the promises. So they know that it is the normal thing that happens in Nigeria. So target must be given to them. And he should also know that he has power to sack. If you can appoint, you should be able to sack. So if you don't use people to set example, you are a bad leader. It's just like in a family. If children can do whatever they do, you don't caution them. Everybody, these ministers that are coming, you see, you will need to understand something. While I do all these things you said about his antecedent, his CV doesn't impress me. I don't see him as anything, anybody who can deliver anything, because to me, passion and frugality have a major role to play in delivering in Nigeria. They have been made ministers. I tell you, without any fear of contradiction, that these ministers, those as soon as they were appointed, they are thinking of how to acquire a property in Dubai and in America. So with this kind of mindset, even if you are the best man for the job, there's nothing you can do, because you will want to do certain things that will be against the country, so that you can make money to buy properties in choice areas in America and in Dubai. Until we change that mentality, there's no way we can ever move forward. What I'm telling you, I'm not a prophet of doom. I am telling you a fact based on experiences that I've gathered over the years and the way I have studied these our leaders. So all this one, is this, is that, it is rubbish. Nothing will come out of it as long as that is what is in the minds of almost all of them. I can tell you this for free. So that is the major challenge, and that is why we have continued to blame the head of government. Tinubu will take all the blame, because he's the one who has appointed them, and he must ensure that they do the work. If they don't do, he should put them out. So if he's not ready to do that, himself is not a good leader. And posterity will judge. Not only posterity, these people can't get away with this. Whether you believe in eternity or you don't believe, somehow you will pay for it. You cannot put millions of Nigerians in hunger, abject poverty. You have made responsible people to be beggars in the society, and you think God will leave you like that? You don't just, things cannot continue to happen like so. That is the major problem. That is what I've emphasized. Frugality. It's one reason again I know that a man like Wike, if I'm the president, I will never appoint him as a minister. A man like Badar, I will never, not to talk about it.
But what do you mean by a man by Wike, given that he's the minister of FCT? And I mean, like you said, there's been lots of memes on social media on a lighter note, where I even saw one today that he said, the meme said, the first thing Wike is going to look for is Atiku's house, and say, where is Atiku's house here? Does the house have CFO and all of that? It literally means that everybody knows that if you're in Abuja right now, you have to get your house in order. We have someone that walked into the office today, literally, and he was laughing and he said he looks like he's not going to have a house because he knows that where he's staying is not government approved. And he knows that Wike looks like a man that is really interested in infrastructure. And then with the likes of David Umahi, and I'm hoping to see a synergy between all of those ministers, where David Umahi and Wike comes together, and anything that has to do with works and infrastructures comes together and say, oh, let's push this forward. So why would you say you think Wike shouldn't be a minister?
You see, the lifestyle of a man matters. If you are too extravagant, I heard while listening to Wike in one of the places he went to, this is a man that is not principled, is not disciplined. Once you are not disciplined, you cannot be a good leader. He declared publicly, told the local government chairman, that declare alcohol for all the people who have gathered there in celebration. Government will pay. So when you declare like that, just because government will pay, the allocation to River State was huge. And what did Wike do? He didn't do anything. People forget that the allocation River State gets, or is it that because the previous administration took so much from the state? What did he do? He didn't do anything. It is not that he generated the money himself. It is not that he was a great thinker. He was just like any other person who could just award contract. What Wike did, I tell you for free, my 11-year-old son can do. I have no doubt about that, because I don't give back.
But your 11-year-old son has not been a one-time minister of education.
He will do better.
Minister of the governor of
it's not been for minister of education, minister of this. Awarding contract and signing is nothing.
But you would agree with me that it's not just, it goes beyond awarding contracts and signing.
Okay, what
you award contracts and you sign, but then what if you don't check up on them? You know most of this contract.
To check this is also not difficult. That means you are agreeing to what I have said, that my 11-year-old son can do what Wike did, because he will go and ensure, because that's what I've always told them. I have told them that as long as I'm not at home, you are in charge. Anything that goes wrong, I punish you, because I have done my best to bring you up to. So any of your younger ones who have anyone who derails, I'm not going to talk to them. I will punish you, except that you have been able to explain to me the steps you have taken to prevent them from doing certain things. So all these things that he constructed, what is there to construct? Call Julius Berger, come. How much is the road? You negotiate, you sign, you release the money. Is that work? You know, Nigerians can no longer take very well, because they have been subjected to so much hardship and hunger. So their level of thinking is derailed. Because when you feel hungry for a very long period of time, it affects your thinking. And when you have been subjected to pains, that's why those women who go to labor room, immediately they give back, they need to recover. If not, because it affects even their brain. Because they went through a lot of pain. It is still thing Nigerians have been subjected to. So they don't think very well. If you now if you pay salary, it's a car now that governor is trying. Because they
something we're entitled to.
Yeah. So to pay salary now is one of the governors that are working in the country, forgetting that the governor is spending huge amount of money on himself and his family. You are using 12 vehicles on the road. You are saying because of insecurity. You are in charge of the security of the state. Why don't you provide security for everybody so that all of us can continue to walk on the road? But you are using. So to me, these people you call that you say no, this was I don't see Wike to have the competence, the capacity to be a minister if I'm in president. And not only Wike, almost all of them there, the likes of Badaro and so. If I were to, of course, I'll compensate those who support me. What will I do for Badaro? Give him contract as a businessman, let him make him money. You give him that, you settle him. That's what you do. I make Badaro a minister.
Okay, all right. It looks like Habib Gajo is agreeing to that. I'd like you to say something in 2 minutes.
Yeah, you know, he's right, you know. When you subject people into hunger and starvation, you understand, so everything impressed them. I saw in a social media somebody was videoing the convoy of the president.
It was okay.
Wow, power sweet, money good. You understand? He was just praising the convoy while he's hungry. You understand? And maybe he's using 200 naira data or 500 naira data to do that. You understand?
Yeah.
So these are the issues we are having. You understand? Like you rightly mentioned in the morning, that what of we ourselves? Can we change? Can we make good of our country? It matters, you understand?
Yes.
But there is also a proverb that says the nagaba ake gane zurfin ruwa. You will know the deep of the ocean from the first person that is fronting the line, you understand? So we have seen so many leaders, we have seen so many ministers, we have seen so many people that restructure some ministries. Buhari restructure and reduce some ministries, you know. Obasanjo came and created some with some parastatals and so on. But Tinubu also did almost 3 ministries that were restructured. Like food and security was added. You understand? Like economic and planning was also added. Like Ministry of Health is also restructured to health and I think it's management, health and so these are the things that we need. Things that will affect a common man, an ordinary Nigerian. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Not the poor man of Nigeria. We are now ordinary. You understand? So let them treat us as ordinary, good Nigerians, not as a poor Nigerian.
Okay, I bet they're listening to us. So that is where we wrap up for today. Habib Gajo and Atiku Abubakar, thank you for joining us on the program this afternoon. And it's a wrap right now. Our viewers at home, thank you for staying tuned with us on the POLITY for today. See you same time, same station. Tomorrow, I remain Messi Babajide. Bye.